Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
I noticed my wife was glued to LinkedIn for hours every night, but never once mentioned anything about jobs or networking. One evening, I glanced at her screen and caught her trading flirty messages with her old boyfriend. I stayed calm and said, "Give me the password or we're done." She didn't utter a single word, simply locked the phone and turned her back to me. The next morning, she opened her eyes to my half of the closet completely cleared out and divorce papers sitting on the kitchen counter waiting for her signature. Your mind registers red flags long before you're ready to admit something is seriously off. For months, I'd been watching my wife, Lauren, suddenly become obsessed with career growth. 3, 4, sometimes 5 hours after dinner, she'd be curled up with her phone, scrolling LinkedIn like it was the most fascinating thing in the world. Yet she never brought up conferences, recruiters, or industry contacts. I'm Ryan, 41. I own a company that restores and preserves historic buildings. Think centuries-old mansions and protected landmarks all over the country. Lauren is 39 and works as a veterinary imaging specialist at a high-end animal emergency hospital. We've been married 11 years, no children by choice, which let us pour everything into our professions and travel whenever we felt like it. The first warning sign showed up about 6 months ago. Lauren began carrying her hospital-issued tablet home every single night, something she'd literally never done in the previous decade. "New policy," she shrugged when I asked. "They want us reachable for tough cases." I took her word for it. Trust had never been a problem. Then came the LinkedIn marathon sessions. Every evening she'd disappear to the sofa or the bedroom, thumb flying across the screen. Anytime I walked past, she'd tilt the phone away or flick to a different tab. "Just reading research articles," she'd say with an eye roll, like I was interrupting something sacred. The third alarm bell was the new passcode. We'd always known each other's phone locks for convenience. Lost phones, quick texts, whatever. One day her screen asked for a code I didn't recognize, and she forgot to update me. I let it slide and told myself I was overthinking. That is, until last Thursday night that I got home earlier than expected from a site visit. Lauren was so absorbed in her phone that she never heard the door. I stepped quietly behind her and saw exactly what was on the screen. It definitely wasn't LinkedIn's corporate layout. It was the private message window, a guy's photo. The words made my blood freeze. "I still think about the way you feel pressed against me." Her reply, "Be patient. I'm working on getting free. It's messy." His next line, "11 years is an eternity to spend with someone who isn't right for you." I backed out of the room, took 10 slow breaths in the hallway, then walked in like I just arrived. "Hey babe, good day?" She startled, slammed the phone face down. "Yeah, normal stuff. How was the site?" "Came in early." "What are you reading?" "Nothing exciting, just LinkedIn." I sat on the bed, kept my tone level. "Lauren, I saw the messages." "Who's Michael?" Her face went through shock, anger, then icy defiance in about 3 seconds flat. "You were snooping?" "I walked in and looked over your shoulder." "Who is Michael?" "An old friend. We're just talking." "I still think about the way you feel pressed against me." "That kind of talking?" Her chin lifted. "You're twisting it. Explain the correct context for that sentence." Then, "We have history," she snapped. "It's complicated." Complicated is flirting while you're married? Or complicated is planning to leave me for him? She folded her arms. "It's harmless. Everyone does it. I don't. And you're not supposed to." She actually laughed. "God, Ryan, it's words on a screen, not sex." Emotional cheating is still cheating. And from what I just read, you're laying the groundwork for the physical part too. You saw 10 seconds of a private conversation, then open the phone and prove there's nothing else. Dead silence. She clutched the device to her chest. I'm allowed privacy. Not when another man is talking about your body and telling you our marriage was a waste of your life. You're being controlling. No, I'm drawing a boundary. So here's the choice. Unlock the phone right now or I'm done. Password or divorce. She stared at me for a long beat, then deliberately pressed the lock button, set the phone on the nightstand, and rolled away from me. I'm going to sleep. We'll talk when you're rational. That was all I needed to hear. I waited until she was out cold, then went to my office. This wasn't the first time I'd quietly worried. 3 months earlier, when the secrecy first started, I'd already met with my lawyer, just to know my rights if things went south. I called him at home, apologized for the hour, explained what I'd just seen. He told me to come in first thing. He'd have documents ready at 5:30 a.m. I packed 2 weeks of clothes, toiletries, files, and anything sentimental I never wanted to risk losing. Everything went into the truck. Then I executed the plan I'd laid out overnight. Moved exactly half of every joint account into a new individual account. Perfectly legal protective step in our state. Left the other half untouched for her immediate use. Finalized details with counsel. Papers would be e-filed the moment the courthouse opened. A courier would deliver her set by 8:30. Notified my office manager, who starts at 6, about ending Lauren's access to company health insurance and the spare work vehicle she sometimes borrowed. Coverage would continue until final decree. Vehicle keys would be deactivated within policy limits. Emailed our property manager. The downtown loft is solely in my name. Bought 2 years before we married with profits from a massive restoration job. Paid for exclusively from my separate account ever since. I'd keep making payments. She had 60 days to vacate, twice the legal minimum. By 8:15 the courier dropped the envelope. I laid the papers on the island with a short note. Your silence last night made the decision for both of us. You have 60 days. All future contact through counsel. Ryan, I left my house key and wedding band on top and walked out. At 8:41 my phone started blowing up. You can't be serious. Call me right now. You're throwing away 11 years over nothing? This is my home too. I didn't answer a single one. I checked into the corporate apartment I'd reserved at 4 a.m., set up my laptop and started my workday. Predictably, she went nuclear, called my parents, my brother, my best friend from university, everyone, claiming I'd lost my mind over an innocent friendship. I'd already sent a short, factual heads up to the inner circle. Lauren and I are separating because of infidelity on her part. I have proof but prefer privacy. I'm safe, just need space. I'll fill in details when I'm ready. By nightfall her tone flipped to bargaining. Please just talk to me. I'll show you the phone now. It was stupid and meaningless. Come home, we can fix this. I still didn't reply. The next day Michael actually called me from an unknown number. She'd clearly given it to him. Hey man, this is all a big misunderstanding. I cut him off. I'm no longer part of whatever this is. Lose my number. Blocked. 3 days later, she showed up at my office lobby in tears. My assistant, already briefed, kept her in reception. Security walked her out when she refused to leave. That evening, I got an email with carefully curated proof. A handful of recent, totally innocent messages. Cute attempt. What she didn't realize is that I'd always kept basic traffic logs on our home router for network diagnostics. The logs showed her devices hammering LinkedIn servers for hours on the exact nights she swore she was reviewing scans. Her work tablet was connecting at 11 p.m. too. Funny for something meant only for emergencies. A week after I left, her hospital announced department restructuring. Her position was eliminated. Perfect timing. Suddenly unemployed, she now had to find both income and housing. She tried the victim route. "You're abandoning me with no job or money." I forwarded everything to my attorney and kept silent. Her lawyer, a known shark, came in swinging, demanded half the loft, permanent maintenance, and a slice of my company. My attorney countered with the deed, payment records, and, surprise, the prenup she'd apparently forgotten existed. Emotional infidelity with documented intent to leave the marriage triggered forfeiture clauses. Their demands shrank overnight. 90 days later, our state's mandatory cooling-off period, we finalized everything. She walked away with a lump sum equal to 6 months' salary, her personal items, and 6 months of continued health coverage. That was it. The divorce was official 5.5 months after I walked out. Faster than most contested cases. It's been a full year now. I've had the loft gutted and redone. Not a trace of her remains. Last week a handwritten letter arrived via my lawyer. Regrets, bad choices, undying love, Michael was a mistake. Can we try again, etc. I didn't write back. People keep asking if I moved too fast, if counseling might have saved it, if I'm too cold. My answer never changes. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Lauren showed me the second she locked that phone and turned away. She chose the secret over the marriage. I just made it official. I don't hate her. Hate takes energy I'd rather spend on the next project, the next trip, the next chapter. But I don't second-guess walking away either. Self-respect isn't negotiable. Some boundaries, once crossed, don't get renegotiated. You just close the door and keep building. Edit/FAQ, kept exactly parallel to original. Why didn't I grab the phone while she slept? Because her refusal when confronted face-to-face was all the proof I needed. I don't need a play-by-play of the betrayal. I just need to know it exists. Was 60 days too harsh? The loft is 100% premarital separate property, paid for solely by me before and during the marriage. I gave her double the legal notice and left her immediate access to half of all liquid joint funds. Who was Michael? Vet school ex, the one that got away in her head. LinkedIn suggested him, they reconnected, he fed her ego. He's married with 3 kids and was never leaving his wife. She was just a midlife thrill for him. Router logs legality? Standard diagnostic logging I set up myself years ago. Only showed connection times and destinations, never message content. No spyware, no illegal monitoring. Was this all too fast? I'd already consulted counsel 3 months earlier when the secrecy started. The machinery was in place. I didn't decide overnight. People call me cold. How else should I have handled it? When your spouse is having an emotional affair and refuses transparency when directly asked, the alternatives are begging, denial, or years of suspicion. I chose the clean, fast cut. Sometimes that's the most respectful thing you can do, for both of you.